typos. No. Never. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Happy Saturday. Welcome to the 33rd edition of the weekend case review from the Gallery Live. I am your host, Lone Wolf Ousel. I've put together some cases from a variety of settings. We'll start off in Judge Stevens' court. We're going to move to Bay County with Judge Vann, and then we're going to end up with the majority of our day coming from Judge Middleton, St. Joe County, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for showing up. Hope you enjoy what we have put together for you today. First case, pretty interesting. If you saw the trailer at all, saw what's in store. Guy decided to push down a 10-year-old kid and steal his debit card, because that's smart life decisions, you know. After that, we got a cattle call with Vann. And then on the Middleton side of things, we're going to back things up a little bit. We're going to rewatch a video I did back on October the 8th, mainly because I don't really remember the whole case, and I think there's a lot of context to be had for this. There's an update for a mental health evaluation that was ordered back on October the 8th, and that came down the pipeline this past week in Judge Middleton. And then we're going to have a whole series of people seeing Judge Middleton from a jail cell. And once we get done with those people, we're going to back things up a little bit, and we're going to hear from a girl who decides that she wants to change how everything works. She doesn't understand how the law works. And that's just an interesting story all in and of itself. But that's over an hour away, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, we're going directly in to Judge Stevens in Jefferson County, Texas. I believe that's Beaumont. Yeah, something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gallery Live. I'm your host, Lone Wolf Ousel, and this is your case review for the weekend for November 9th, 2024. Let's get started, shall we?
And you were John McMillan?
Yes, sir.
Present with your attorney, Mr. LeBlanc, the state's attorney. What are we going to be doing today?
Wait,
Pleading
All
to,
three?
no,
two.
the dismissing
Which one?
the drug case, the 4149 or 414, whatever that
72.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait, hold on. Time out. I understand. You know, there's a reason, and there's a reason I did it like this, because the people who I so rudely ignored will appreciate the fact that I started the video, then immediately paused it to say, hey, oh my God, I just completely missed the Colin Raiders coming in. So Colin Raiders, shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. This pause is for you. Colin, see you. This pause is for you, buddy. Back to the show. That's all.
And you were John McMillan?
Yes, sir.
Present with your attorney, Mr. LeBlanc, the state's attorney. What are we going to be doing today?
Wait,
Pleading
All
to,
three?
no,
two.
the dismissing
Which one?
the drug case, the 4149 or 414, whatever that
72.
Yes, sir. On my glasses. Squinting.
You're driving still?
Backwards. I can't see forward, so I drive backwards.
Your insurance agent's watching today. All right, so those three cases are called. One will be dismissed, so let's deal with the entry of pleas in the two cases of 22-40800, where the defendant is charged with the first degree felony of aggravated robbery, and 22-41062, the state jail felony of theft. Does the defendant waive formal readings of the indictments and the arraignments here? Can we proceed in summary? In summary, sir, each of these cases are felony offenses. 40800 alleges that on or about September 19th, 2022 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the first degree felony of aggravated robbery with the use of a deadly weapon, namely a golf club.
Broken golf club.
And Judge, that's a,
We're pleading to a lesser included robbery.
yeah,
But
and although the papers say robbery, he was indicted on aggravated robbery and we're pleading to the lesser.
Okay. Robbery is a lesser included offense under the aggravated robbery statute.
But I didn't check the.
I'll fix it. And in 22-41062, you are alleged to have on or about September 18th, 2022 in Jefferson County, Texas, committed the state jail felony of theft. You understand what you're charged with in each of these cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
First of all, in the 40800, an agreement has been reached where you would be pleading to the lesser included offense of robbery, which is a second degree felony, which means you face a term of not more than 20 years or less than 2 years in prison. In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
An agreement's been reached there where you would be pleading guilty, sentenced to 2 years
yes, sir.
in prison to run concurrently with, God bless you, with the other case you're going to be pleading guilty to. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
If I follow this agreement, you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
There must not have been much about this, right? This must not have been a big deal.
It wasn't. No,
They carved 3 felony offenses out of it nonetheless, but how long have you been in jail?
26, nearly 26 months, Your Honor.
Since this event?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're 2 months overdue from getting out under this agreement. Yes, you'll be out. You'll be processed out as quickly as paperwork and do whatever it needs to do, unless there's something else involved.
There shouldn't be, Judge.
If I follow this agreement, you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand?
Yes, Your
How
Honor.
do you plead to this, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
You plead guilty voluntarily on your own free will and because you are guilty.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Gonna hold that one in abeyance. And go to the next case, 41062. This is a state jail felony, which means if convicted, you face confinement in a state jail for any term of not less than 180 days or more than 2 years. In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
The agreement's been reached where you would be pleading guilty, sentenced to 18 months in the state jail. Is that your understanding of the agreement
Yes, Your Honor.
to run concurrently with other cases? The other case.
Yes, Your Honor.
If I follow this, you have no right of appeal of your cases. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
he stole a debit card and didn't use it. So
Okay, I'm looking at this and okay. So, you assaulted a 10-year-old child?
No, Your Honor.
Pushed, it's the probable cause affidavit says pushed the child in the chest, knocking him down into the vehicle and causing the debit card to fall from his hands. And then you took that debit card and fled the scene. You assaulted a 10-year-old child?
No, Your Honor.
It says it's on video. Have y'all seen that? Have you looked at it?
Yeah, but it's been a while. Well, marijuana substance.
It's not my case. I haven't looked at something.
You're gonna assault a child?
Actually, it was the main one that we were getting ready for when we were separate trial, the
Huh?
aggravated. I didn't look at this as much as the first half, the robbery. That case was what was going to trial when we were separate trial.
I don't like it. I don't, how much trouble would it be to pull that video and let me look at it real quickly, please? Oh, you got it. Oh, okay. Let's see what it's, it says surveillance shows, and it'll show one way or the other. What do you have to say before what's that going to show?
I walked up to the bar. So
What's it going to show?
I didn't touch it. I didn't push anybody, sir. No, I didn't.
So the probable cause affidavit is a false statement under oath. I'm going to look into that too, if that's true. Somebody's not telling me the truth. And you're under oath when
Yes, sir.
they put you under oath. Let's see what the surveillance shows. Let's push the child down. How did you get the debit card?
The kid handed it to me. Somebody
Just gave it
Yes, sir.
for no reason?
I didn't even know it was a real card.
No. A stranger, he just gives a debit card to you, a stranger?
It was like a play. Yes, Your Honor.
God, that doesn't make any sense. Good luck. Let's see what this says. Shows.
I'm not sure about.
One thing you don't do is mislead the court. Okay. All right. Can you turn the lights down?
Your Honor, I'll tell you what happened right here.
No, you've had your,
I walked.
you know, be quiet. I'm gonna watch this.
Yes, sir.
You said what
Yes,
you
sir.
had to say. Let's see. Okay, that's you, I guess,
I walked into
the
the
bare
car, speaking to the
chested
lady.
person.
Yes, Your Honor.
Guess it's 2 videos there, man.
All right.
Your Honor, the kid was in the car.
I said,
Yes,
be
Your Honor.
quiet.
Yes, sir.
You'll have a chance. Let's watch this quietly. Then everybody has a chance to be heard. But don't tell me what's on the video.
Oh, yes, sir.
It speaks for itself. Well, that's it, huh?
Yes, sir. I can see the back of the car.
You can't see anything.
Some interaction.
That way.
No. Yeah, the kid was still in the car.
Okay, lights, please, thank you. You can't. See, there's another angle for that. You can't
That's the
really see,
video that I see, Judge.
for whatever reason. The woman doesn't seem to be in much distress from what I can see. She wasn't getting in a car, then in a frantic looking state. The only issue though is you've pleaded guilty to robbery.
That's not that same person. This is a different one. There's 2 different instances. The robbery is a gentleman that he
Oh, I
cut.
thought all of this was out of the same
No,
episode that we just saw.
No. There's 2
Well,
different episodes.
Okay, well then,
And that's why Judge, I said that we're prepared for the robbery for trial.
The robbery involves the golf club. Broken golf club.
and they're in the video of that.
Not that I'm aware of.
How do you plead in this case on the state jail felony, which the agreement is that you would be pleading guilty, convicted, sentenced to 18 months in the state jail to run concurrently with the other case? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Show you what's marked in each case as State's Exhibit 1. Did you sign those documents voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Understand them, discuss them with your attorney, or the contents true and correct? State's Exhibit 1 tendered into evidence
We have no.
without objection. Among other things, these agreements similarly state that you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea, which is freely and voluntarily made in each case. You are giving up your rights to a jury trial, the rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses. You are guilty of this crime and any lesser included offenses. And you're totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer, all true, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
States Exhibit 1 in each case made a part of the record for all purposes. So pre-sentence reports are waived.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. What I'm going to, if nothing further, I'm going to follow these agreements and find you are pleading guilty to the lesser included second degree felony of robbery in 40800 and the state jail felony of theft from person in 22-41062. You were making those, entering those pleas voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty pleas from State's Exhibit 1 admitted in each case to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in each case. You are, according to these agreements I'm following, hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 2 years in the robbery case under 22-40800. And confinement is ordered as you were found guilty in the state jail felony of 22-41062, and you were sentenced to 18 months in the state jail in that case. Those two cases, those sentences shall run concurrently, and 23-41472 shall be dismissed when that comes to me.
Submitted the dismissal.
Okay. Anything else on that?
No, Your Honor.
Four one four seven two is dismissed. All right, that is all.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes. Your Honor, Judge. Coming before this court, Your Honor, I would never rob anybody. I wouldn't do that in this situation.
Oh, wait, you just found, you just admitted guilt to robbery.
Okay.
You want to keep talking?
No, Your Honor. I didn't know that was just the deal going on. Yes, Your Honor. He's talking about in the future. Yeah, we do that.
Nice. Good, good work trying to save that. But it's pretty clear what he said. You know, the thing about it is, how many convictions do you have in your life? Are these the first two ever?
My first felony conviction, Your Honor.
How many convictions do you have in your life?
Marijuana felony. This stage of felony.
Wait. So this isn't your first felony conviction?
Marijuana stage.
That is a felony.
Yes,
You know it, everybody.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the first thing out of your mouth is a lie to me. What is it? Deceit is just your middle name?
No.
But I ask you a question and then, yeah, this is my first felony. And then within 10 seconds, you say, but I have a marijuana state jail felony conviction. What is it about you that you can't be honest?
Your Honor, I didn't know that the state jail felony was the same thing as a third degree felony. That's what I was referring to, as far as.
Wait, what did you call this? It's a state jail what?
Felony.
And you don't know it's a felony? You even say the word felony? Look, you've been in jail
Yes, Your Honor.
for how long? About 2 years?
Yes, Your Honor.
Every day they talk about it. You got 1,000 guys in there talking about it. Everything. There's not any confusion about whether a state jail felony is a felony or not. Every day you talk about it and live with it and talk with the guys. Don't act ignorant to the court. That insults my intelligence and everybody else.
Yes, Your Honor.
You know, the problem is robbery and a state jail felony. There's some similarity. That's all about dishonesty. And I'm not surprised you're coming out and being dishonest to me. And my recommendation and suggestion and advice to you is start being honest for a change. You'll find that you live better with others and to yourself. But living a life of deceit and trying to mislead people in every sentence you make when we know better doesn't do you any good. It don't hurt you. Live honestly. Don't harm anybody. Give each person respect. Everything in being a good person is wrapped up within those three requirements. And you need work on those. All right. You must do better if you want to be a better person. That is all. Thank you.
She's got me muted because there's no telling what she's saying. They're full. Got Lisa in. Okay. All right. She got it moved up. Okay. Okay.
State your name, sir.
Christopher Gentry.
Mr. Gentry, for the court charge driving under the influence. You understand the charge, sir?
I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat that?
You understand what you've been charged with?
I do.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
It is.
All right, Mr. Gentry. Based on your application, you've indicated you're going to hire your own attorney to represent yourself. Is that how you're going to proceed?
That's correct.
Deputy, criminal history?
He shows no history.
Mr. Gentry, on completion was called pretrial release. Pretrial release office after court next Wednesday, November 13th at 8:30.
Yes, sir.
Please, okay?
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Riddick. State your name, sir.
Robert Sullivan.
Mr. Sullivan, you're fully court charged of grand theft. You understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Anderson, represent Mr. Sullivan?
Yes, Your Honor. Lisa Anderson for Mr. Sullivan.
Would you like to tell me, ma'am?
Judge, I've reviewed the probable cause narrative in this case, and it appears to be a civil matter. This was a contract that was signed between the two parties, and Mr. Sullivan was fired by the alleged victim. I would ask on this case if you would release him on the pretrial release program. Additionally, he has a case pending before Your Honor. We have court scheduled next Tuesday. I would ask the court to entertain a bond in order to give me time to speak with a felony prosecutor on the case to see if there's a possibility if we can get it dismissed, because I think that it's clear that this is a civil matter.
It didn't seem clear to me when I signed the warrant.
Well, I don't think that you were given all the information, Your Honor.
Well, that's probably true. All right, pretrial release. Court date is December the 2nd at 9 o'clock, but he needs to be at the pretrial release office before 9 o'clock Tuesday. Now, I'm not going to visit the bond issue.
Thank you, Your
because
Honor.
I think this happened prior.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business.
Have a good weekend, ma'am.
You too.
Sir, if you'll give us just a moment.
No, I will not.
You ain't got no choice.
Instant appearances. I can want in one hand and hope in the other and see what happens. Look, she is not even playing today. Look, I'm wearing my Alabama.
You want me to be unprofessional, and I'm not gonna do it.
No. Why are we starting a new? It's not a new year yet. Why are we starting a new leaf?
Because I'm not gonna do it today, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. Take care, sir.
Yes.
Behave.
For today only.
I've kind of behaved all week, and it's really kind of.
There's no one here. You should have did it yesterday. There's no one here to give it to you today. You could have. Like I said, you didn't see what I saw, or you would have.
I'm glad I didn't read it. I'm glad I just read the complaint. All right.
State your
Juan
name.
Rodriguez.
Say your name.
He's before the court charged carrying concealed firearm and exhibiting improper exhibition of a firearm. Does he understand the charges?
You understand what you're charged with?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Y'all don't got no translator on there?
You need a translator?
So I can understand 100%.
He's saying if you would give him a translator so he could understand 100%.
So he understand well enough before we got him in here, but now he doesn't understand enough. Okay. Judge Gay has it? And I'll give him the weekend. All right, bring it back tomorrow.
All right, let me step out. He's gonna bring it back tomorrow with an interpreter. All right. Next. Red X, state your name.
Audrey Scott.
He's flat, you're fully court charged possession, less than 20 grams of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia, and violate purpose for neglect of child. Do you understand those charges?
You understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir.
On the marijuana charge, she does have a medical marijuana card, so it's the issues with the use and storage.
Right, transportation.
It's fresh. Watch the body. This one. That's yours.
Okay.
Watch the video. He's never violated. She's got all money paid. She's responsible for. She's in cosmetology school and almost done with that. She lives with her father, who owns a construction company. She's been there since she was 8 years old. This was a warrantless arrest, so there was not any bond set on that. So I'm asking that you set a bond on that. I think that Judge Clark would do that, considering it's her first VOP and the circumstances of these.
The card's very specific.
I understand that.
They ad nauseum what they can't do. They're not supposed to be able to. Okay.
Yeah.
But we all. Whatever your retainer was is a reason to doubt it. 1,500 on the pot, 1,000. Yeah. I'm getting soft in my old. 5,000 on. Court date for the misdemeanors will be November 13th at 8:30, December 18th at 9 VOP.
All right, step to your right to the T.
I hear,
When the green light comes on, sign.
you're screaming my name on the sideline at Bay High School.
Next. Red X man. Face the TV and state your name.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Destiny Davis.
Ms. Davis, you're before the court charged with fraud. You understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am. Indicated, well, based on your application, you make too much money to qualify for a public defender, but the law recognizes your financial situation may change, in which case you can reapply later. Question about that?
No, sir.
You also have the option of hiring your own attorney or represent yourself. Yeah, criminal history?
Of Georgia, you had a marijuana in 21, controlled substance 19, and that's it.
Onset at 5,000. Court date's going to be December 16th at 9 o'clock. No contact directly, indirectly, or through a third party with the alleged victim.
All right, step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X man. State your name.
Rhodes, before the court on failure to pay fine for what was originally a retail theft charge in front of Judge Grammer. Understand that now?
You understand why you're here?
Yes.
You've been ordered to serve 15 days in the Bay County Jail, but you may purge out upon payment of $500. Good luck, ma'am.
All right, step to your right to the T. Next, when the green light comes on, son. Ready, next, ma'am? Face the TV, state your name.
Brianna Davis.
Ms. Davis, before the court, try to petty theft. Do you understand that charge? You understand what you've been charged with, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Shoplifting.
Yes, ma'am. I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Secretary, your physical and address. Based on your application, if I find you do qualify, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
Yes, sir.
Deputy, criminal history on Ms. Davis?
No history.
Ms. Davis, what brings you down here from Valdosta?
Well, me and my fiance, we was on vacation with our family, and after that, we left yesterday heading back to Georgia, and we had went to a
That's enough.
No, don't
Vacation.
talk about the case. You're down here on vacation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You a Georgia Bulldog?
No, sir.
No?
I'm a Gator fan.
Oh. Oh. That's wrong
Sir.
on so many levels.
Really is, though.
From Valdosta? A Gator fan? I mean, I know it's just across the line, but come on now.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Well, Ms. Davis, I'm going to give you a court date for next week. So you're going to have to be back Wednesday, okay? Can you do that?
Well, right now I'm in Valdosta. I have no transportation.
That's what I was afraid of. Would it be better or worse if I made it next Friday?
This Friday,
Not
I'm trying to
next-
figure me a
today's
ride.
Friday.
Next Friday.
Next
Today's
Friday.
Friday, so it'd be next Friday.
Next Friday.
You got a family member or somebody that can bring you back?
No, sir. All my family members are far away in
Yeah.
different states. Like, I just lost my mom. Not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. And that's my only hope of the transportation.
How old are you, Miss Davis?
I'm 22.
Okay. Did you get through high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you got internet access up there?
Yes, sir.
You got have you got a email address and things of that nature?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if your boyfriend's family's still in town?
No, sir. They left yesterday.
So let me ask you this. If I let you out of jail, what are you gonna do?
Well, my plan is walking back to Valdosta.
I can't do that. Can't do that. Floyd. I've appointed her representation by the public defender's office. I'm going to need some help on this one.
Judge, she's between a rock and a hard place.
I know. I
Can
wanna
your
let her
boyfriend
out.
come back and get you?
Where's your boyfriend?
He's here also.
He's in
He's in
jail.
jail.
or he-
Yeah,
He
he's in
gets-
the same jail.
Who is your boyfriend?
James Craven.
Yeah.
He's coming
They
up.
Yeah, they both got picked up for the same thing. I'm just curious if he's going to be in the same.
This is the shot
situation.
glasses.
Yes, sir. I'm
Yeah.
trying to, I want to get her, I want to let her go, but I
Right.
don't want to, I don't want her walking back to Valdosta.
Well, if
You're
the
not gonna
boyfriend's
let
still
him out
here,
like that, though. You're not gonna let him out.
Okay.
So she's gonna be by herself unless he bonds.
Okay, I hear you.
Looks like she'll have court Monday.
Well, we don't.
Nope, it's
we
a
got-
holiday.
Got court Wednesday. It's 5 days because of the holiday weekends, Monday. So, Miss Davis,
Yes, sir.
Please straight up.
but then I'm letting her out with nothing.
We're gonna let her out with nothing anyway.
I'm gonna let her out with nothing either way, aren't I?
Exactly.
No, I'm gonna put a $100 bond on her. All right, Miss Davis, listen to me. And I know this is not what you want to hear, but I think your best interest is to sit tight where you're at and let us have the long weekend to figure out a way to get you back home. And I'll see you Wednesday morning at first thing, okay?
Yes, sir.
I don't want you walking back to Valdosta,
Yes, sir.
because if I let you out today and you walk back to Valdosta, you're going to miss a court date. There's going to be a warrant for you down here. You're going to really be between a rock and a hard place, and there's not going to be anywhere for you to go, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm putting a monetary bond on you so that you get credit for the time you spend in the Bay County Jail. Don't post that bond even if you got it. Just sit tight for me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
see you.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign.
I don't understand fucking Daddy Jerusalem wanna be. He's not even fucking from real. One of the ones I fucking hate.
Have one and I can't see.
Just sit tight, we'll tell you. Melinda, say your name.
Melinda Roberts, it's not like you didn't know who I am.
Miss Roberts, how you doing?
Don't wanna be in front of you, you and I don't see eye to eye, never have.
Well, you do
I would rather
qualify.
have another judge on the case, cause I know who you are.
Who am I?
I think it's Todd Ellison, Jerusalem, anything to you, Van?
No,
Elijah Ellison's fucking daddy. You wanna meet with me in Thomasville, Georgia, at the baseball field, what my damn agreement was?
at a baseball field.
Nah, I don't play your game, Van. I don't play your fucking game.
Bond set at 5,000. Court date's gonna be November 13th at 8:30 in front of me.
And I'm gonna see you for the leaf line, motherfucker. Remember when you ain't supposed to be alive, motherfucker, you're on a case you shouldn't be. Like you fucking kept me from goddamn real. Like you not a real fucking piece of shit.
She on probation too. Somebody was smart to put her on felony probation for Wednesday last week.
Fucking ass, dick sucking ass, shit. Step up here.
Just step on the edge.
What's her case number?
I'm so mad that they did that too. 24 3009 CF. Exactly. I was like, who did this? And it's a felony probation.
Judge Stevenson. I can't wait till she sees Judge Stevenson for this. Does she think I saw her in Thomasville, Georgia?
On the
'Cause
edge.
we didn't play any travel ball tournaments in Thomasville.
At the park. At the park, you heard it.
No, we didn't. We did not. We played a bunch of soccer tournaments in Thomasville. Rose City Soccer.
You heard it.
Tournament. I know, but I didn't do it. Is this Miss Cunningham? Miss Cunningham, you're fully court for charged with violating your probation was originally possession of meth, controlled substance, and burglary in front of Judge Stevenson. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Judge Stevenson's already held it out bond. Your court date's gonna be January the 2nd at 9 o'clock. Good luck, ma'am.
January 2nd? Gee.
That's what I said. I didn't study. Those circuit judges don't work. They're not gonna work over those holidays for sure.
Step up on the X. State your name, ma'am.
Sutton, how you doing?
Okay.
So your first court on an out-of-county warrant is out of Escambia County for a fraud charge. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, your bond's been set at $10,000 by the Escambia County judge. Can you make that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you post it in Escambia County, and they'll type here and say that for us to release you, and then it's up to you to make your court date, okay?
Okay, I believe it should have already been in process. I already spoke to the bondsman last night,
Good.
but I don't know what's going on. I haven't talked to nobody.
Sometimes it takes a little while because it's a different county, okay?
Yes, sir.
November the 22nd, on the off chance that it doesn't go through, just so you have a tracking date.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
You said 10,000?
It's what it was pre-set up.
10. Step over to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. It'll come on in a minute. Step on the X, sir. Yep, step on the X. State your name.
Mr. Bandu, you're for the court on failure to appear for a petty theft. I'm sorry, for a pre-trial conference for what was originally license plate not assigned and driving license been revoked. You understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Your bond's been set to $7,500. Your court date is November the 14th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next.
Why is it a T on the ground?
Face the TV. State your name.
My name is James Craven, Your Honor.
Mr. Craven.
Bandu, sign.
I knew, this is the other half. This is charge of petty theft, shot glass. You understand that charge?
Yes, sir.
I understand you can give me copies of paperwork and advise of your rights. True?
Do what, sir?
Been advised of your rights today?
Have you been advised of your rights today and given a copy of the paperwork?
Yes, sir, I have it in my hand.
Based on your application, unless you do qualify, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have an attorney now.
Yes, sir.
Deputy, criminal history?
He's actually on probation for a petty theft from over there.
I am.
24 was a petty theft, VOP and a VOP. 23 trespass and no valid. That's it.
Georgia?
Colquitt
sir.
County.
I am from Crawford County. We came down here on a little family vacation and really didn't anticipate it, but it just happened.
Nobody ever does.
Don't talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Don't talk about it.
So, Mr. Craven, your family's already gone back to Colquitt?
Yes, sir, they have.
So how are y'all gonna get back?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I can't get a hold on the phone because the PIN, passcode, whatever, it don't seem want to work with me. And I've been trying since I got in here yesterday to work the phone to figure out the PIN code, whatever it's trying to use on the phone. But yes, sir, they're back in Georgia. I don't know how me and my wife's gonna get back home.
So y'all get married in jail?
No, sir. Okay.
Well, she didn't describe herself as your wife. She described herself as your girlfriend.
Well, wife, fiance, girlfriend, we all classify it as the same
It does make
thing.
a difference. I promise you, it makes a
It do.
difference. It do. It do.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Bond set at 5,000. I'll see you Wednesday morning at 8:30. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right, step to your right to the T. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Charlie Allen. So is that the full price of it?
Mr. Allen, you're fully court charged of grand theft of motor vehicle and grand theft. No charges.
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been giving copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, once you do qualify, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have an attorney now. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Yeah, criminal history.
Alabama, you have 5 FTAs in 21, 23, 24. It doesn't tell me what those FTAs were for.
What brings you down here from op, Mr. Allen?
I was hanging out with this girl and well, she wanted to go to the bar and I couldn't get into the bar. Well, she said go to the bar, I couldn't find the bar. So I just drove the car back to Enterprise, back where I was from, and I didn't know I had a warrant for this arrest until I got arrested on August the 3rd in Covington County.
Okay. Guys. All right, on the grand theft of motor vehicle bond is 10,000. On the grand theft is 5,000. No contact with the alleged victim. Court date's gonna be December 2nd at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right to T. When the green light comes on, sign. Red X, sir. State your name.
Connor Bergenstock.
Birkenstock, fully court charged with burglary of an occupied dwelling while unarmed and grand theft. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, sir?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, you make too much money to qualify for a public defender, but the law recognizes your financial situation may change, in which case you can either reapply. You also have the option of hiring your own attorney or represent yourself.
Yes, sir.
Jeff, your criminal history?
I have my probation for a DUI reduced to a wreck.
Case number, ma'am?
24-1252 CT.
All right, Mr. Birkenstock, on the burglary of a dwelling, bond set at 15,000. Grand theft 5,000.
Okay.
Court date's gonna be December the 12th at 9 o'clock. No contact with the alleged victim. And I'm signing a warrant for violation of probation case 24-1252. Good luck, sir.
All right, step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Red X, sir. State your name.
Jonathan.
Mr. Middleton, you're before the court for possession of more than 20 grams of marijuana. Do you understand the charge?
Okay.
You understand what you're charged with?
Oh, yes, yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender representative. You have an attorney now. Any question about that?
Sir.
Earlier paraphernalia resisting less than 20, 19 controlled substance, less than 20 para, 18 DWLSR third, hit and run, FTA, goes back to 6 locally.
Bond set at 5,000. Court date's going to be December 16th at 9 o'clock with random UAs. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Next. Red X, sir. There you go. Face the TV. State your name.
Right, Alden. Mr. Alden, full court charge domestic violence with battery, victim being pregnant, domestic aggravated assault, deadly weapon, and obstructing or tampering with a witness. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, sir?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
Say that again?
He gave you a public defender.
Just appointed an attorney to represent you. Deputy criminal history.
It's out of Indiana, but nothing since 15. That was a domestic and 10, 14 times 3 and 15. DV strangulation and 10 and 14. Nothing since.
Did you say strangulation?
Mm-hmm.
No strangulation. No strangulation.
Okay, I'll disregard that part of it. I feel much better now. Domestic aggravated battery, victim being pregnant, bonds 25,000. On the domestic violence assault with deadly weapon, bonds 25,000. On the victim witness tampering, bonds 10,000. No contact directly, indirectly, or through a third party alleged victim. Court date's gonna be December the 23rd at 9 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
60,000.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Wait, step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Red X, sir, state your name.
Lane Swatches and Roscoe, sir.
So you're full court on an out-of-state warrant out of Santa Rosa County for felony petty theft. You understand the charge? All right, sir. Those request the honor of your presence, we're gonna hold you for them. Ask the Bay County Sheriff's Office to finish your transport back to Santa Rosa County. Court date's gonna be, return date's gonna be November the 2nd. You have to break the transport.
You broke up on a return.
November 22nd. Give them
Thank
2
you.
weeks for track.
Yes, sir. Sir, if you'll step over to the desk, if you'll step over, I'll let Thomas go back. He had been here for child support and arraignments and he knew the court date.
Okay, he's held out. And he knew the court date already, November 27th at 1:30?
Yep, I told him I'd send this copy down to him.
Good.
Paul, same.
He knew the court date?
Yep.
All right, November 27th at 1:30, he's held out.
All right, state your name, sir.
James Hill.
Mr. Hill, you're full court on an out-of-state warrant out of Washington County for violation of probation. Want to just rest? You understand that, sir?
Yep.
All right, they've asked you to hold it up, to honor that request. Get you back to Chipley as quickly as possible. Return date's going to be November the 22nd or sooner. I hope you're gone by then, okay?
November 22nd.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just stay right. Gotta sign one more time. That's the wrap, sir.
That's a good week.
It was.
Okay. So, let's talk about Judge Middleton, shall we? He had this case back in early October, and the lady was in the courtroom with them, and he wasn't quite all there. It's an interesting case. I don't really remember everything that happened, so what I've done here is I've kind of rolled that case in with the update. It's about the first 30 minutes of the Middleton set. After that, we've got a bunch of Judge Middleton with some people in the St. Joe County Jail, and then a very interesting case follow things up at the very end. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're rounding up the very end here. Let's go to St. Joe County, in the great state of Michigan. I present to you Judge Middleton.
What is actually scheduled for this afternoon is Elizabeth May Conway, file 241681. It's a resisting obstructing a police officer charge. It's alleged to have occurred on September 16th. Let me find that one, 691. It's alleged that on or about September 16th, he did resist or obstruct Detective Jason Auten of the Sheriff's Department as a fourth habitual offender, making this punishable by, I believe, up to 15 years imprisonment. The prosecutor has agreed to dismiss that charge for a plea to attempting to resist or obstruct a police officer. Attempted resisting obstructing is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by a year, up to a year in jail, fine of up to $2,000. I believe you've been in custody in that matter for $22 days. In addition to that, Mr. Truckee represents you on a number of other cases, and they've tried to resolve all of your cases.
Yeah, but I'd like to work on this one if it's possible.
All right, well, let's talk about that.
I mean, I don't know what fourth time resisting arrest, but that's never happened. I've never resisted arrest once.
Say that
I've
again?
never resisted arrest once in my life.
No, it's not a fourth
Or is it
resisting
please
of
a
arrest,
fourth felony?
fourth felony.
Oh, okay, I understand. what
Your
you're
other
saying now.
felonies in other counties,
Okay, I follow what
Oakland,
you're trying to tell me right
Livingston.
now. That's what you're
um,
trying to say.
No, it's not a fourth offense.
Yeah, 'cause
but-
I take a plea deal just to get out of jail because I got kids. So yeah.
All right, now let's talk about your other cases, Ms. Conway. You have 4 retail fraud charges pending. And you and I have discussed these. And we were close to resolving them until you realize if you pled not guilty, I'd have to let you out of jail. So you pled not guilty, and after 28 days, I let you out of jail. And then shortly after that, you got rearrested, and now you've been in jail for 22 days. These retail frauds, there's 5 of them. Retail fraud in the second degree. 24843 allegedly occurred on March 7th of 2024. 24842 SM retail fraud, second degree, March 18th, 2024. 24592 retail fraud, second degree. That's a civil infraction under Three Rivers Ordinance. Retail fraud, second degree, March 12th, 24487 SM. And retail fraud, City of Sturgis, September 15th of 2024. So of those 5 of those, the prosecutor has offered that if you plead to 1 retail fraud second degree, they would dismiss all of the other cases. Some of those are ordinance cases. And I don't, did the Sturgis agree with this? There's 3 retail frauds, 2 retail frauds are Sturgis cases.
So only be one during me calling 911.
I don't
Or I left the
represent
story.
Ms. Conway
My-
in any of those.
Yeah, all of the cases that I'm aware of are ones that I looked up with my own eyes in their county. So there might be additional Sturgis that I'm not aware of, but I've got 3
Well, there
separate.
are 2 civil infractions, so
Okay,
you have 3 and you'll dismiss 2 if she pleads to 1, is that
That's
correct? I believe they're all at Walmart.
I believe you were right.
All 3 of my files are.
All right. So the plea offer, Ms. Conway, is you plead to 1 count of attempting to resist or obstruct a police officer, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail, a fine of up to $1,000. And 1 retail fraud, which will dismiss 3 or 2 other retail fraud second degrees. Here, this particular one, you loaded up a cart, put it in a tote, pushed it out of the store, $284 worth of property. And that was alleged to have occurred on March 7th. There were some that preceded that and then some that were after it. So that would be the factual basis for that. Retail fraud second. And 24843 SM. Are you willing to plead to those 2 misdemeanor offenses?
Not today. That's when I got crowbar. You guys arrested Cynthia Lee, 2 hours arrested her. I got beat with a crowbar during that ticket case.
All right, well, then there's another one. There's 2 more.
About 3 hours, right? That's the 3 hours incident. And you guys arrested somebody on a possible abduction case That was me. I was, when walking around crutches.
Let's try another one, 842.
Can't do it. I remember getting beat with the crowbar and all that, and I was in the hospital a few times, and I got crowbar paperwork.
All right, this one was alleged to be March 18th at the Walmart
It
store.
rocks on. I heard it was crowbar.
Is this not a judge?
In this one, on the video, you went out to Gentry merchandise stores and you stole $264.88 of property. And they identified you from all the other thefts. And I think you went to Oakland County. Are you willing to plead to that one on March 18th?
No.
All right.
Yeah, he keeps saying I'll get time served, but I mean,
All right.
I'm not willing to be not let out of jail today and all that stuff. I'm not willing to transfer to nowhere. I got no warrants right now.
Right.
Trying to keep it at that because if I were to be transferred today, I would it'd be very unfortunate because the main first, there's a couple of people that are supposed to have warrants for the rest of the day and they still have been arrested. A couple of people have been following me to rooms, breaking into my motel room.
All
That's
right.
the main reason why I ended up back at my grandma's Bingaman.
All
So
right.
this
Stop
lawyer
for,
just said some rude stuff about my cat from my Bingaman, my grandma.
all right.
She told me.
Stop for a minute.
That's why I keep asking, hey, PR bond, PR bond.
I let you out on a PR bond and 5 days later you got arrested all over
Yeah, I
again.
had to call my family member Jason to Sturgis, which
All right.
is Sheriff's County. But by the time I ended up going back to Constantine, Carlisle, which I was supposed to be there anyways, had called 911 for no reason.
All right.
And I got
Just-
smashed to the ground. All I
just-
got asked to was to leave and come back, and I couldn't because I had people break into my rooms and they're already supposed to be in jail right now.
All right, just stop for a minute. Mr. Marvin, I told you I was writing a comprehensive letter to community mental health regarding the cases that I see in custody that could greatly benefit from mental health services. Ms. Conway is one of them. Your lawyer's trying to get you out of jail. I don't know where you're gonna go. You got caught stealing 5 times in about a month. You were going to enter a plea to one of those charges on a plea agreement until you learned that if you pled not guilty, I'd have to let you out of jail on a 28-day rule. I'd give you a PR bond. So I let you out of jail and those cases were not resolved. Once again, Mr. Marvin agreed to dismiss all the cases if you pled to one. They have you on video 5 times stealing stuff from the Walmart store. And then you have this new resisting and obstructing charge. The offer is to take a plea on the retail fraud charges, give you 28 days in jail, credit 28 days, and plea on the misdemeanor resisting and obstructing charge and get 22 days, credit 22 days, and let you out of jail. But I don't care if you stay in jail because A, you're not willing to admit that you keep stealing all this property, and B, I haven't worked out a plan on what to do with you when you get out of jail. You need some serious mental health treatment. And I was composing a letter to Community Mental Health this morning regarding you and about 8 other people at the jail that could greatly benefit from some services. So this is Mr. Marvin's plea offer, reduce the felony 4th bench habitual to a misdemeanor and let you out of jail and dispose of at least 3 retail frauds and let you out of jail. But you have to admit that you did something wrong. I mentioned this the last time I saw you. I've watched you disintegrate before my eyes when you first came back to Constantine and you had a case down there. I've watched you dissipate, get sicker or worse I don't know if it's methamphetamine or fentanyl or both or mental illness, but I'm watching you go downhill and it's not very pleasant to watch. So your lawyer, Mr. Truckee, tried to convince Mr. Marvin to let you get out of jail today. I don't have a plan. I guess I just lay out. I was working on a plan because you need one. So here's the deal. He will dismiss the habitual offender felony charge punishable by up to 15 years in prison if you plead to one misdemeanor count of resisting obstructing. He will dismiss 2 other retail frauds that he has the authority to dismiss from Meijer or Walmart if you plead to 1. So if you'd like to do that, we can do it now. If you don't wish to do that, we can set these things for further hearing or a trial if we need to.
So what are you trying to say?
So boy, I don't know if I can make it any clearer. I'm not sure you're competent.
I'm not sure I let the cases behind my head because the Terry Kelly family and the Silent Waters that Scott Bell that have been arrested are behind here on the outside of here. Because what they're trying to do is release of their bond of they put on me. But really one of them raped me in June. So, and they're still not arrested and they're looking for Sadie McWaters because he cut my bill cord out in September in a motel room out here. Why do you think I'm back in here?
Well, I think you're in here
I
because
think it's a legal attack that you guys are gonna try and judge me behind their racist criticism. Because they were the ones who were tasing me outside the fucking motel rooms. I had to call my cousin Jason, my mom's cousin Jason Bingham.
Judge, I know nobody wants to be the one to raise competency of my client, but I don't think she can assist in her defense in this case at this point, based on what her statements.
I'm trying to tell you, I would rather prefer work on the first case that we're here for, because my other ones are supposed to be tried out until the 10th, right? What's today's date?
yeah, they're set for a final pretrial. Well, we can do that.
10th. Yeah, like today, what could I plead to right now?
Attempting to resist or obstruct a police
So
officer.
can I leave today if we plead to?
No, I'm gonna leave you in jail. If we resolve all the cases, but I'm not gonna make you promises to try to get you to plead. I couldn't have explained it any more clearly than I did. All you're focused on is getting out of jail. I'm
Yeah,
focused
because your
on,
officers are in here in August tasing me while I'm laying there resting while
all
I'm
right, well,
pregnant.
they're not my officers. They're officers here for the county. They're in the executive branch. I'm in the
All right, so
judicial
I'm gonna
branch.
plead guilty to whatever you're saying to, and you're
Um,
gonna take my plea deal, but I'm not gonna say anything further right now because I'm not gonna be disrespectful. But remember this, do not threaten a Bingaman and talk shit about a Bingaman attorney. Don't talk about my Catherine Ray Bingaman like that again. And I mean it.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah,
Liz?
when you were just out here, you said my grandma Bingaman's very rude. You don't even know her. How dare you?
Your Honor, I know that one of the ways to raise competency is by motion, and it's preferred, but at any time, I know I don't have the rule at my fingertips, but at any time during a proceeding, the court or any attorney for that matter can raise the issue.
You agree with Mr. Truckee?
Yeah, and he already did, but I don't have a problem with that. I don't want her to feel compelled to do something.
All right.
And I don't like to raise this issue in these
Well,
cases.
I'm tempted to raise it myself. Miss Conway, we're gonna have you evaluated for competency to see if you're competent to proceed and assist in your proceedings, whether you're able to
I would
understand.
plead guilty just to get out of here, but I'm gonna.
I-
make sure that
everybody
everybody's
would.
arrested
Somebody-
that's supposed to be. Most of the
okay.
people you guys have housed in the jail, just because me and my Bingaman family members put them there. That's why you have people in here, because they are ready for murder charges. I'm the baby that's cut out of my stomach. Or they attempt to murder me and hire gunsmiths to murder me, or my Bingaman family members. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So I'm gonna plead guilty because I'm taking care of it, because I'm on epileptic and medical medications, not psychiatry medications. So please don't talk to me like that. And when they disguise my paperwork at the hospital, it's because I was assaulted sexually or physically, and I don't want my assailants to attack me, which is all the people that should have, some of them already should be in here, and all the people have been put in, lodged in here. So I'm taking plea deal right now, And then we're gonna make sure you guys take that plea deal. And I want to plead guilty to everything, but make sure, I hope you know when you go home and we sleep at night, how dare you guys? And I'm pleading guilty. Please
All right.
take my plea deal.
I'm not taking your plea deal. You're gonna be evaluated for competency, so please take Ms. Conway back. I'm gonna have you examined for competency by the Center for Forensic Psychiatry. See if you're restorable or able to be competent, but I'm not comfortable taking the plea because I don't believe you're competent.
You mean you don't believe I'm
I'm
guilty is what you should say to me,
No,
sir.
I believe there's a highly likelihood that you're guilty, at least of some of this
No,
stuff.
I'm not actually. You're very
All right,
rude
well,
and you should lose your job.
the affidavits show you're on video
Lose
and
your
every one
job
of
is
these.
What you should do, Middleton. How
All
dare
right,
you?
bonds
Remember when you
remain the
called back
same.
to me last time? You were wrong. That's what you'll be.
Well, we had hoped, and again, we were just dumping the problem out on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had, we have Miss Anthony, we have Mr. Brown, we have Mr. Valentine, we have Mr. Oswald, we have another guy, the guy that thinks he owns a piece of real estate in the parking lot. They belong somewhere, but it isn't necessarily in jail, but she does continually get charged with stealing stuff. And she's not at all repentant, and she's not focused at all on what the deal is.
And Your Honor, I just like to say I did raised it prior, but the statute causes us defense counsel to be in an untenable position on misdemeanor cases with mentally ill clients, and it ought to be changed.
Well, we do have a felony resisting obstructing charge, but like Mr. Valentine, the misdemeanors will go as well. So we'll prepare an order for competency on all 3 retail frauds and the felony R&O charge. And I said it, I've watched, and you've seen it too. We watched her disintegration. And sometimes you think it's methamphetamine, but she's been in jail for 22 days and she's just as disorganized as she was when I saw her 22 days ago. I let her out of jail on the retail frauds because I could have kept her in for good cause shown. You can exceed the 28-day rule regarding bond and a misdemeanor, but I let her out. And within a very short time, she got arrested again for this. And I suspect if I let her out right now, she'd get rearrested at a short time. We need a better plan other than putting them out on the front steps of the jail. And as we mentioned, and I mentioned in this letter, the jail staff aren't orderlies at a mental hospital. We're running the largest mental institution in St. Joe County at the St. Joe County Jail. There are 88 people in it, and about half of them need significant mental health treatment. And there are about 10 of them who are significantly mentally ill that need to be somewhere. The problem is there is no somewhere. There is no magic place to simply put people. But I'm not confident that she would have been competent to enter such a plea. And so, as you know, Mr. Truckee, then it means they end up in jail for months and months and months and months. A, taking a jail bed. B, not getting any treatment. You'll get this letter that I'm writing where I'm asking Pivotal, who's taken over our jail diversion as of October 1st, to focus on these defendants. There's going to be 8 of them. And one option would be to pursue a commitment and hospitalization short of competency. And we agree she needs competency, but it takes so long to do it.
Well, and it's not right to have somebody ultimately in for retail fraud.
For 400.
To wait to see if they're competent, plead to something. That's just not America. You don't do that to somebody.
You can exceed your maximum sentence waiting to be competent.
Correct.
And that's
so. And at some point, there's pressure on me to say it's not. They're not equal.
Well, and they're not, but let's say, as we talked about Miss Anthony the other day, or Mr. Brown, I just let them out. Well, then what? You know, she's psychotic and she's standing on the front steps of the jail without a penny in her pocket. We need to have some sort of exit strategy for these people.
I would like to throw a wrench in the next case.
All right, well, let's finish with Miss Conway. We're gonna get a competency evaluation in all those
It
cases.
is my understanding that they have more beds for ladies now.
Then Ben,
And if they're in custody,
they get priority status.
with their evaluation, because they know where they're at.
Now, there's 2 civil infractions still out there. We'll leave those on. Sturgis may simply to dismiss, elect to dismiss those. All right, I was hopeful, but if anything, I think she's gone downhill since the last time I saw her. This is in the matter of Elizabeth May Conway. She has multiple files. File 24842 SM is a retail fraud 2nd degree. File 24843 SM is a retail fraud 2nd degree. File 24847 SM is also a retail fraud 2nd degree. And there's another case, a felony resisting obstructing charge, 241681. Miss Conway's attorney Ross Truckee is here and prosecuting attorney David Marvin is here. They're both familiar with Miss Conway. She is not here. She is presently in custody at the Sheriff's Department. I asked Mr. Truckee if it would be okay if we did this hearing without her. Mr. Marvin was here with us for the last hearing. We tried to work out a plea here, but it was apparent that she was struggling with some significant mental health issues. She has been to the forensic center and found to be incompetent. She has been in custody now for 50 days. And we have a follow-up order from the forensic center. The last time we had her here, she was quite disoriented, and I don't want to bring her onto the camera in that state. According to jail staff, she's still about in the same state. So can we waive her presence here, Mr. Marvin?
Yes.
We received from the forensic center a letter dated October 28, 2024, was actually received on November 1st. We're supposed to set these for hearing within 5 days, and so we've done that. It is from Dr. Andrea L. Vanderberg with their opinion. Mr. Truckee, on behalf of your client, may I consider that report?
Yeah, I'd stipulate to the report.
Mr. Marvin, you agree?
I agree.
We've all worked on some cases with Ms. Conway over the past several years, and we've seen her decline. The last hearing was not very good when we ordered this competency evaluation. And according to the report, the doctor has reviewed a number of documents and been in contact with the jail staff. I'm going to go right to the opinion portion of Dr. Carlson's report. Ms. Conway's mental condition was characterized by delusional thought content, often pertaining to physical health conditions that interfered with her ability to have rational conversation. Her thought process was also noted to be disorganized and perseverative about her reported physical health conditions. This is consistent with Mr. Conway's attorney's reports about Ms. Conway's presentation. It is my opinion that Ms. Conway's mental condition impedes her capacity to understand the nature and object of the proceedings against her, as well as her capacity to assist with her defense. It is therefore my opinion that she is incompetent to stand trial. In summary, giving the weight of the available information, it is my opinion that Ms. Conway is not competent to stand trial on the pending charges at this time. While it is my opinion that Ms. Conway was competent to stand trial, it is also my opinion there is a likelihood that Ms. Conway can be restored to competency within the time period allotted by the statute. 15 months for the felony and 4 months for the misdemeanors. If she was provided a structured inpatient hospital setting. Based on my clinical experience, people with delusional thought content similar to Ms. Conway's tend to respond to treatment in the time period allotted by statute. Thus, it is my opinion that it's likely she would be restored to competency if such treatment were provided. So the court is prepared to enter an order finding the defendant is incompetent and shall be referred to the Center for Forensic Psychiatry for treatment to attempt to restore competence. As we often know in these cases, sometimes it's hard to determine where addiction ends and mental health starts. But she's been in custody for 50 days and her condition has, if anything, probably deteriorated. And they think with a course of conduct, medication, and treatment, she can be restored to competence. As we all know, the problem is going to take a while. So based on stipulation to the report and the previous knowledge we have about this defendant, I'm going to find the defendant is incompetent and I will do an order for further treatment. Anybody want to add anything? I did write a letter. I think I shared it with each of you to Pivotal. We've got a number of people in the jail that belong somewhere other than jail, and she's one of them. But there we are. I don't know if I never heard anything back, but we lost our liaison and they've got new people, and I'm not sure how well we're doing so far, but anyway, she is presently incompetent. We saw it ourselves. So let's get some treatment and see if she can be restored to competence so we can resolve these cases. All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
Good morning, sir. Are you Kyle Michael Hopkins?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hopkins, in file 22383 SM, you're charged with 2 counts of domestic violence, second offense. Talk about that in a minute. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Prosecutor is going to reduce that to a charge of domestic violence, first offense. In file 221928, you're charged with possession of methamphetamine. That is a felony. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. Excuse me, up to 10 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $15,000. Prosecutors are going to, wait a minute, that's the wrong case. Right charge, wrong file. Fine of up to $15,000. Prosecutor is going to reduce that to a misdemeanor charge of use of methamphetamine. Your lawyer, Mr. Tim George, is here with me at the courthouse. and some others. So what I believe we're about to do is you're gonna enter a plea of guilty to domestic violence first offense and use of methamphetamine. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
2 misdemeanors. Now, Mr. George had you execute a advice of rights indicating that by entering this pleas, you're going to give up your right to have a trial on these cases. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Now, you've been gone for a while. Let's talk about the domestic violence case first. It's alleged that on February 27th of 2022, almost 3 years ago, he made an assault upon Sierra Gilbert, someone you had a dating relationship with. Were you and Sierra Gilbert living together in Fawn River Township at that time?
We weren't, we were at my mom's house. We weren't living with each other.
Well, did you get in an argument that day?
Yeah, apparently.
She said you spit on her and slapped her in the face, and she spit on you.
Yeah, something like that happened.
All right. And then there's a shotgun. All right, well, that takes care of the DV. Let's talk about the methamphetamine. That was in February. Were you using meth then, in February?
Then, yeah, we both were.
All right, well, that leads to irrational behavior. Then you got arrested in Sturgis on March 13th. And you got stopped for a traffic stop. They arrested you on the domestic violence warrant, and they found you had a small amount of meth and a pipe in your possession.
Yeah, we were driving from my cousin's house. We were in her car.
So she was the driver?
Yeah.
All right. Where have you been for the last 2.5 years?
Ever since I stopped getting high, I don't get high no more. I've been working, and that's all I've been doing is working. But for the last like 3.5 months, I've been in Branch County jail. Since like August 16th, I think it is.
What was that charge?
They arrested me on a warrant, the warrant from over here.
Yeah, but I understand Judge Weigel gave you a sentence.
93 days, or it's 120 days, and then I got a year of probation, attempted RNO.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna need more information before I decide what to do with this case. Doesn't sound like you can bond out anyway.
You already set me for the 18th, Your Honor.
I was just looking at that. Fair Yard, Robert O'Connell. Let's set these for November 18th at 11. I got a lot that morning, but maybe a no lunch day. So did you move away, or you just managed to stay under the radar and they never arrested you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been in town, but I've just been working. I don't hang around nowhere. I don't go nowhere. I do industrial roofing on Costco's.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Hopkins, we're gonna set this for sentencing for Monday, November 18th. I need the police report, victim input. By that time, you'll have quite a bit of jail credit. Maybe you'll just end up going back to Branch County. All right, I'll see you on November 18th at 11.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Good morning, sir. Are you Joseph Scott Borcher?
Yes, sir.
I'm here with your lawyer, Mr. Tim George. My name is Judge Middleton. You're from Allegan. You got charged with possession of methamphetamine in this file, which is 241928FY. So led you were walking down 131 on October 23rd. The police stopped you and searched you and found a quantity of methamphetamine. That's a felony. It's punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $15,000. Prosecutors agreed to dismiss that charge if you plead to the misdemeanor offense of use of methamphetamine. Use of methamphetamine is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Your lawyer advises me that you're on local supervision by parole agent Bobby Joe Newland, and this plea could result in a violation of your parole in Allegan County. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Have you discussed this with your parole agent?
Talked to Bobby Joe about it.
All right. Anybody threaten you to get you to plead to this other than this charge?
No, sir.
Anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No, sir.
All right, you signed a waiver of your advice of rights. You understand by entering this plea, you're giving up those rights?
Yes, sir.
All right, did I get it right from the affidavit? You're walking down 131. Where were you going?
Just walking, trying to clear my head, trying to figure out what's going on, what direction I'm going.
Where were you? Were you staying at the Spartan Motel?
No.
Where were you staying?
In Allegan.
You walked all the way from Allegan to, that's a long walk.
I have a bicycle with me, but my bicycle chain broke.
All right. So the police stopped you, searched you, and did you have a small amount of methamphetamine in your possession?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you've got bigger problems than this. Apparently you weren't cooperative enough. You've been in jail for 13 days. I'm gonna order 20 days jail, credit 13. Give them a few days to figure out what they're gonna do with you. And $125 fine or 2 additional days. That gives them about 6 or 7 days to figure out what's gonna come with your parole hold. What were you on parole for? A methamphetamine charge?
No, sir. I had a domestic back in 23.
All right.
This is actually the first time I've been involved with any drug-related issues.
So you didn't really have a connection to St. Joe County? You were just walking through?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Like I'm supposed to see my parole for next week anyway, so I was just trying to clear my head, figure out where I was going to go with my life after my parole. Because I was supposed to get up in February.
I'm not sure I got all that, but I guess your point is you want to try to get clean and get on after your parole.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Borcher. This case is done. 20 days, credit 13, 7 days to serve minus good time, $125 fine or 2 days jail. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Are you Michael James Kern?
Yes, I am.
All right, well, I don't know, so I'll go with that. Judge Pattison was handling this matter and he's not available today, so I'm Judge Middleton and I'm gonna take a look at this. I'm here at the courthouse. Also present is Mr. Keith Stickley. He's the Chief Public Defender. Your lawyer, Mr. Luke Nossinger, is not here. Because this wasn't scheduled. We just stuck it in here. You got arrested last night. Let's talk about the charge. The original charge is domestic violence, second offense. It's alleged that on September 20th, you assaulted your girlfriend's aunt by spraying her with a hose and throwing some stuff at her. And that you had a previous offense. So it's charged as domestic violence, second offense. Bond was originally set at $7,500 cash or surety. It was reduced to a PR bond. You had some medical issues and it was set for a further hearing when you got out of the hospital. And you didn't show up for that hearing on October 8th. And Judge Pattison issued a bench warrant for your arrest and set the bond at $10,000. So let me ask you a couple questions. You got arrested last night?
Yes, sir.
How did you get arrested?
Being at my grandma's.
Where's that?
That is River Road.
Did you get a new charge or they arrested you on this warrant?
I'm not for sure, honestly.
Why did they come to your grandmother's house?
Because of my dad.
All right, well, did somebody call the police?
I think my dad did.
Did he say, hey, there's a warrant out for you, or was there some sort of a disturbance?
No disturbance.
When did you get out of the hospital?
October. Let's see. It was like the middle of October. I know that.
Let's take a look. This is one of those things where I get a call over the weekend and you've got a medical emergency and it takes some doing, but we had converted your bond to a PR bond. That was September 27th. And then it was fixed on October 1st. Your hearing was October 8th. Were you still in the hospital on October 8th?
I could have been. I'm not for sure though. But I was through the hospital up to then, around that time. Yes. And they released me without, they said all charges were dropped at the hospital and they released me. And I even asked about the ban that they're supposed to put on me and they never did that either.
The ban, you mean like pretrial services?
Yes. And I don't even have a girlfriend. I never even, because I'm gay. Just to let you know. So I don't understand how these charges are false, sir.
Well, I don't know about that, but what it says here.
Because I don't even know.
The main victim, Consuela Marie Parsons. Oh, I had it backwards. It was her boyfriend's nephew. So Miss Parsons' boyfriend is your uncle. So you were staying there at your uncle's house?
No, that's my mom's house. And they came in and overtook it.
So were you there first?
I was there first. And then I had to call the cops on them where all my aunts and uncles came out because they were attacking me and then nothing happened. They didn't do anything about it multiple times. They graffitied my car. I just had to have the cops come back out there because they were trying to rip the motor out.
Now, who is Steve Kessler?
See, I don't know who that is either. And then, like, when I went back there to get my stuff, they got rid of my cats, and I don't know if they're dead or not either.
Well, I sure wish Judge Pattison was here. They talked to this Kessler, and apparently there were multiple people living there. And he said he then saw you blasting her with a hose, and she was all wet.
Don't make any other stuff.
And then they talked to your mother, Carol Kern. So Carol Kern is your mom?
Yes.
And she owns the house?
Yeah, she owns the house, and she went to the probation center and left me in charge of it to pay all the bills and stuff. And then my uncle came in and overtook me while she's been in the jail. And then it's like a big.
Okay, well, okay, so you're there, these other people come. Now, according to her, she said Parsons, Consuela, was staying at the address. So the provenance of who has the right to be at the house is up in the air. It does show you have 2 prior domestic violence convictions, one from 2018 and one way back in 2000. So
yes,
you were staying at your grandmother's house, and for some reason your father called the police?
Yes, because I was cleaning up my grandma's yard and he gets mad about it. Like I'm doing something wrong, sir. Because all this is happening.
Well, so let me, where would you go if I let you out of jail?
Well, my grandmother and my dad don't even live in the same house.
So you've been staying at your grandmother's?
Yeah.
But your dad doesn't live there?
No, he lives in the house out back. See, I get Indian money or native, settlements from my Indian tribe. And this is what's, I believe, is causing it with my family.
I was aware that you were a tribal member. Which tribe are you in? Nottawassippi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you get monthly tribal benefits?
Yes. And I've been very responsible with mine and they have not. So they're taking it out on me because of that.
Are they all tribal members also?
Yes.
All right. And are they trying to take advantage of your money?
Yes, they even tried to take my car. The police didn't even make a report on it. The paint's still on it where the guy wiped his finger right on the fresh paint that they came and graffitied. And then I just got my car because they done pulled another Challenger up to my mother's house when my grandma went by next to my car and was going to rip the motor right out of it. My brand new Challenger. Because they stole the keys to that as well.
Well, let me go back to the question I asked a minute ago. I'm wandering in the woods here. If I let you out of jail, where will you go?
Well, can I go to my grandmother's or not? Because my dad
Well,
doesn't live
there's
there.
nothing here that prohibits you from going to your grandmother's. I'm not clear whether you missed that court date because you were in the hospital or not. I do know that in late September and early October, you were in the hospital.
Yes,
At one point, you were under guard from the sheriff's department.
The reason why I was in the hospital is because of the first incident that the police never arrested my uncle on, where he kept beating the shit out of me, sorry for my excuse, and caused the trauma to my abdominal walls, and I had to have a major surgery done because of it.
Well, I was aware you had some abdominal and intestinal issues, and I didn't feel you needed a jail guard at the hospital, so I created your bond as a PR bond.
I appreciate that.
You didn't show up for the hearing. Judge Pattison was miffed. She set the bond at He set the bond at $10,000. All right, I don't know whether you're welcome at your grandmother's house or not. There's nothing in here. What's your grandmother's name?
Janet Cunningham. See, and I haven't known my dad or my grandma and stuff my whole life, and so I went back over there and got to know them and stuff and
Well,
let them
which side are you a tribal member on?
my mother's side. I was born into a court case with my mother and father, my mother turned 15, had me, and my dad turned 16 years old.
Yes, that's all in the records here. All right, I'm just trying to figure out what to do with you right now. If I leave the bond at $10,000, you'll be there. Your actual attorney is Luke Knopfsinger. Did you ever talk to him?
No, because at the hospital, they said that even the guard that left and signed me out, like our charges were dropped and I didn't even leave with the tether on. And I try to tell them when they arrested me, if you would think that my uncle would know my name, they arrested me originally under a false name as well.
What was the name you got arrested under?
Michael Cunningham. And my name's Michael Kern, and I had to tell them that. And then they didn't understand that when they were talking to me about my bond. And then got mad at me when I was saying, sir, this is not my name, let alone, I don't even know it, Consuela.
All right, was your birth name Michael Cunningham?
No, it's never been. So why wouldn't my uncle know? Because that was my uncle.
I don't know. I'm, like I said, grasping at straws here. I'm not gonna give you a PR bond. I'm gonna give you a low bond, and if somebody will post it, then you can get out. I'm gonna set an attorney pretrial in front of Judge Pattison for, Judge Pattison will be occupied on November 15th.
Except for the 22nd, aren't they?
Are they set? I was just gonna look. Yes, I'm gonna set an attorney pretrial for November 22nd
I appreciate that.
with Luke Knopfsinger. At 8:30. Bond is 10,000 cash or surety. I'm gonna reduce the bond to $2,500, 10%, with all the same conditions.
Okay. Thank you so much.
There's nothing in here that says you can't go to your grandmother's. I don't know what your grandmother thinks about that. And I'm unclear as to exactly the circumstances of how you got arrested last night. In fact, I'm unclear about a lot.
As we all are.
But this was an angry, it was like hitting her with a hose, and I'm not even really sure what the heck was going on. So.
Because the room was locked when she came in, and I heard somebody in the room, and that's what happened.
When does your mom get out of the center?
Mom gets out on the 19th, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure because I'm not allowed to talk to her. I haven't talked to her since the day that she went in. Like they took everything. I guess somebody went over there now and told me they destroyed the whole house.
Don't know the answer to that. Clet Road is officially out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
All right. Mr. Kern, I'm not sure where we're headed here, but you've got an attorney pretrial with Attorney Nossinger for Friday, November 22nd. I set your bond in the amount of $2,500, 10%, meaning for $250, if somebody will put up the bond, you can get out. The conditions are the same. You need to contact your lawyer. I think there's a condition that you contact pretrial services.
Okay. Can I get some paper and pen to write this down?
Yeah, we're gonna send it out to you before you go.
Okay.
Your Honor, what is Mr. Kern's docket number so I can be?
The file number is 241726.
Thank you. I just need to be prepared for the
All right,
22nd.
Mr. Kern, best of luck. Judge Pattison will be seeing you at your next hearing.
Okay, thank you. It was nice to meet you, Middleton.
All right, thank you. Judge Pattison owes me.
Big time, huh?
The more I asked, the more confused I got, but
Just come see me.
there's always more to the story, and there's a lot more to that story, but
You sound like Paul Harvey.
yes. All right, thank you. All right, we're ready to address the matter of Courtney Marie Marshbank. File number is 241478FY. She's here about 40 minutes late for her sentence, but she is here. This was a charge of carrying a concealed weapon, which is a felony punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment, reduced to a misdemeanor of improper possession of a firearm in a non-game area. The court set this matter for sentence today, trying to figure out things and get some more information. Defendant has lots of unpaid tickets. And I was hopeful that she would pay something, but apparently, according to the staff, there hasn't been anything paid.
At least 50, like $75.
Okay. All right. Mr. Gibson, what would you like me to know?
Well, the defendant indicated that she's saying that she wants to withdraw her plea, which I'm not quite, she's telling me that she thinks because of the fact that in Indiana, you can have a concealed carry and you don't have to have a permit. I guess she's somehow thinking that that should apply to her in Michigan. I don't believe that that would be the case. So, I mean, I don't quite understand what her thinking is on that, but you know, as far as I can see, she will not be convicted of a felony by accepting this plea. So it should not affect her right to to own a firearm in Michigan. She should be allowed to maintain her firearm rights. From what I could see, there is a long list of, if you get convicted of a misdemeanor within 8 years, that could affect your ability to apply for a CCW permit for 8 years in Michigan. But from what I could see, what she was convicted of in this case would not be on the list of crimes to not have within an 8-year period. So, but I would ask the court, if I would ask the court to sentence the defendant to fines and costs here. I think we have a situation where she had a firearm and she says that she didn't know where she could store it in the car because the car didn't have a trunk. So I think we have, from what I can see here, my understanding would be that the defendant, she was not aware of the firearm laws. And so she ended up violating our firearm laws. But I think it was more or less, I don't believe she had a criminal intent. I just think she was not familiar with the firearm laws. And so she violated the firearm law, which if she would have had knowledge, she hopefully could have made accommodations to have the vehicle in her car and safely and legally transport it. So I think she's going to learn from this. And I think she's going to make herself aware of the firearm laws going forward. She indicates to me that she'd like to hopefully have a CCW in the future. And so I would ask the court, as I said, to sentence her to fines and costs. Thank you.
Miss Marshbank, where do you live? Do you live in Indiana now?
Yeah, I live in Shipshewana.
All right, at the 675 West address?
Yes.
All right, and do you wish to withdraw your plea?
I mean, well, so I was reading, and it says that in Indiana residents over the age of 18 with no felonies are legally allowed to conceal carry without a license in the state of Indiana, and Michigan's concealed carry laws say that they honor Indiana's laws when an Indiana resident is over here in Michigan. So, but I didn't know about this until this morning when I was reading. So, I mean, if that's, correct, which I mean, I believe it is, then that would technically mean that I didn't commit any crime because I am a resident of Indiana over 18 with no felonies, and it was my gun, and that should be not, I didn't do anything illegal in that case. And I did bring money today to pay my fines. I was waiting on my card, and that's why I was late. I had to fix my battery so that my truck would start. So I am very sorry about that. I think it would not start at all.
She indicated she could pay, she believes, $50 to $75 today, right?
Yeah, I have $100 on my card right now, but I do need gas to get back. So I didn't put in a lot to get here because I was in a hurry and I was already late. So I was trying to just put in enough to get me here.
You have a history of just blowing stuff off. I looked at your driving record. You had 12 FAC or FCJ suspensions.
What's that?
Failed to comply with judgment and failed to answer citation.
I don't know what that means. I've never got anything in the.
They were all erased. Kalamazoo County, Allegan County, St. Joseph County. You had 12, 6 of each. Failed to comply with judgment means you got a ticket and you didn't pay it. FAC means you got a ticket and didn't answer it.
What?
Yes. Well, they used to suspend your license for that, but they don't anymore. I don't agree with that. I think they ought to suspend your license if you don't pay your tickets.
Yeah, I know I have fines in Allegan related to tickets that I have a payment plan on. I didn't know anything about Kalamazoo.
Well, and then you have all these cases here, and you keep driving around with no license plate, which I don't understand.
I can't get ahead.
You have 4 charges of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus this is 5. You're driving around with it without a license plate, not even an expired plate. And I didn't know if that was a sovereign citizen thing. They didn't believe you needed a plate. They just keep driving around with no plate. Then you get the ticket and you don't pay it.
No, this was the only one where I didn't have a license plate. All the rest of them, they were expired.
All right, well, this one
that
is
car got
just
stolen.
no plate. And so, but you haven't paid the other ones. 220911, 22911A, 23433, 23569, 23698, 23690, 23091. You got a speeding ticket in March of 24. You didn't pay that either. Then you had this case. Your landlord moved to evict you. You didn't show up for court. You got defaulted and the sheriff had to come put you and your dogs and cat out on the street. You just ignore stuff. And, but you haven't paid any of the fines here going back to 2022 and including a speeding ticket that you got in March. Then I delay the matter to allow you to pay something and you haven't paid a cent. Then you show up late. And you have some idea that somehow you have some defense. The prosecutor is not here. The law says I'm supposed to grant a motion to withdraw a plea with great liberality if given before sentence. So I'm going to give you what you asked for, and the prosecutor is going to recharge you with a felony and convict you of it probably. But I'm going to allow the defendant to withdraw a plea.
But like, have you heard of the Indiana thing? I mean, if that's not the case, then then I'll just take the plea.
I don't believe it is the case. Something you read on the internet doesn't amount to a legal defense to a carrying concealed weapon. You're in Michigan, you got a gun, it's in your car. Else you're driving around with no license plate, which is like saying, please pull me over. Any officer that sees you driving with no plate is gonna pull you over. You weren't really doing anything else. And to your credit, the gun was not loaded.
I was homeless at the time, so I had to go.
Yes.
I've been homeless ever since I got kicked out of that apartment that I missed the court for.
Well, they kicked you out because you hadn't paid your rent.
No, yeah, I did.
Well, let's
Yeah, I
see.
paid my rent, and I should, the lease was for, was in somebody else, no, that's what I showed up for.
Well, let's see what happened. If you have a defense, you have to show up to make it. And so when you don't show up, you automatically lose. So let's see what the deal is. Who lives in the Shipshawana address?
Pamela Danoon.
And who is she related to you?
No, she's, old friend's mom. The friend's not around, but she's,
So did you just sort of use that as an address?
no, that's where I'm staying right now. I just started staying there like that. I was on my way there, when I got pulled over with the gun in my car.
Where is the gun? It was registered in your name. Where is it registered?
Kalamazoo, I think, or that's where I was living when I bought it.
All right, well, then your Indiana defense is even worse. The gun's registered you in Michigan.
Good point.
All right, let's take a look.
I mean, I see something about a reciprocity where it says that Michigan has reciprocity agreements, but I don't.
What is reciprocity?
Means we respect the law of another state. Let's see here. Your rent was $2,245 a week. They alleged that it was $2,325 behind. At the time I entered the judgment through April 7th, you owed $4,285 in unpaid rent for a total of $4,469. But again, you never showed up. So,
That was the White Pigeon address?
yes.
Yeah, I think that day I didn't wake up for court or something, or I forgot, or I thought it was the day after or something. I don't remember which one it was. That was
All right,
that
well,
was a mistake. I
then-
didn't purposely not come though. That was an accident.
Well, when you don't come, you automatically lose. And I gave you until April 6th to vacate. And you didn't move. So on April 13th, Sergeant Morse came, put you and your 12 cats and 1 dog out.
And my son.
And your son. So that's always very unpleasant.
It's been a rough year.
And what you said at the time of your arrest in July is that you were staying at some quote unquote sketchy motel and you needed the gun for protection, which would still seem to mean at that time you were a Michigan resident. But I don't think that defense is going to go very far. You bought the gun here. The gun was registered here. You possessed it here. And on the day of the arrest, you told the officers that you lived here. So even if there is reciprocity, which I don't believe in this context applies, if you had a CCW permit from Indiana, it would be valid here in Michigan. That would essentially mean All anybody needs to do is register a gun in Indiana and then you can take it everywhere. Try doing that in New York City and see what they do with the New York firearm laws. But Mr. Gibson, if you believe there's some sort of a defense there, the prosecutor isn't here to argue about it. So I'll give you a couple of options. I'll let you withdraw your plea. And set the matter for a pre-exam conference. I'll adjourn it to allow your lawyer to file some motion to dismiss under this reciprocity theory. Or we can proceed with sentencing this morning. But I'm not very impressed. You have enough money to buy a gun. You don't have enough money to pay your tickets.
I bought the gun when we had the COVID money. I wasn't homeless at the time. I just had a really nice house in Kalamazoo before I got kicked out because of the violent relationship.
Your Honor, if I could have just a brief moment with my client in private to discuss this with her.
Yes, we would have done this at 11 o'clock if it showed up at 11 o'clock. I'll do it during my lunch hour. So yeah, go ahead.
So I don't know if the court would be inclined to adjourn the sentencing to give me time to confirm that this would not be a defense. But from what I can see, there was, for states that had similar laws to Michigan, where you had to take a gun safety course, where you had to sign up to get the CCW. My understanding is that Michigan grants reciprocity to states that do that. And I think that Indiana at one point did do that. But now apparently Indiana allows anyone to conceal carry without having to have any kind of permit. So I don't know if that means that Michigan would give reciprocity to a state that doesn't have that.
I'll allow you an adjournment, but Ms. Marshbank.
Does that mean that I'm getting charged with a felony again?
No, we haven't withdrawn your plea yet. That might be what you deserve. You have a Michigan driver's license. You were living in Michigan at the time this happened. You purchased the gun in Michigan. You registered the gun in Michigan. You're couch surfing with somebody in Indiana and you contend that somehow that gives you the right to carry a gun in Michigan. I don't believe it does. I was looking at the stuff that I was talking about. You have 8 unpaid tickets here in St. Joseph County. As indicated, those used to result in suspensions. Looking at your driving record, which is on an older ticket when you were still living on Chicago Road, there's unpaid tickets in Kalamazoo and Allegan County. And when the law changed on December 4th of 2020, they cleared a bunch of unpaid tickets, 12. So your license is currently valid. The reason I bring all this up is because if I give you a fine, I don't have any faith that you're going to pay it, which is why I continued this to see if you'd make any effort to pay it.
I
ought
to just give you 93 days in jail and wipe out all of your fines. So the problem, all of this comes from lack of money. I call driving without a plate, driving without valid insurance, driving while poor. That's not a derisive term. People just don't have any money and they're driving anyway because they have to get what they need where they need to go. But you're actually sticking in their eye and driving down the road with no plate on at all. And in addition to the no plate charges you have here in St. Joe County, you have a couple in another county, Kalamazoo, where you never paid the ticket, and Allegan, where you never paid the ticket. And I guess At one point, way back in 2017, you had some sort of repayment plan in Allegan. But literally 12 things, 12 unpaid tickets, they're still owed, but they don't suspend your license from it. And they all got lifted on December 4th of 2020 because the law changed. So
the way the law is now, if you don't pay your tickets, they can't suspend your license?
correct.
But income taxes is in like a couple months, and my fines here are only like, how many tickets here are only like $1,000 and something. So I mean, I will easily pay that all in full as soon as I get my.
Well, the only reason you would is because I'm cracking the whip.
No, because it's kind of cheap. I mean, compared to like my other fines and tickets and stuff, like I thought it would have been way more for as many tickets as I've got out here so far, and it's not.
All right.
Well, Your
So
Honor.
I'd rather just be cleared and done and be over with and not be in any trouble.
Would the court consider potentially adjourning the sentence approximately 30 days with the idea that, is there a certain amount of money that the court would say that the defendant needs to pay a certain amount of money?
No, I just wanted her to pay some.
I'm paying today for sure.
And so she shows up today late, all of a sudden she's gonna make a payment. So it all just shows bad faith.
But I mean, am I, one payment of say $50 to $75 is probably not enough to make a difference. So I guess.
Well, I don't want to punish her because she's poor. She isn't in a good financial situation right now, but there's a long history of this, including the most recent ticket and then the speeding ticket she got in March. She just blew it off like every other ticket she ever got in the last 5 years. And so eventually the birds come home to roost, and I'm not going to give you a fine that you're not going to pay. And so the other option is to do a jail sentence. This is a felony reduced to a misdemeanor. I don't think your defense, even if your theory is correct, that if you're an Indiana resident, they have reciprocity. I don't believe you're an Indiana resident on July 18th. And according to the Michigan Department of Motor Vehicles, you live in Michigan, you have a Michigan driver's license. And by the way, they send everything to the address on your driver's license, which would go to the Chicago Road address where you got evicted from, which was also blowing off paying your rent, blowing off appearing to court, waiting till the very last minute where the sheriff had to come forcibly put you out. You have a history of not addressing your problems. And so I'm not sure exactly all that's going on here. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I'll agree to adjourn the matter 30 days. Does your car have a plate on it now? How did you drive it here? How'd you get here?
I got a ride, but they gotta come back and get me.
Well, you said your car wouldn't start, so you were prepared to drive your car here with no insurance and no plate.
I mean, I couldn't just miss court.
I understand.
I mean,
Let's
I
make
don't know
sure
what to
she
do.
didn't
Like,
drive here.
I don't know. I've been homeless this whole time with my son and stuff. Like, it's been really hard to, and then my car got stolen, so I couldn't even get a job if I wanted to because I had no car at all. And then I just bought the truck 3 days before I got pulled over. That's why I had no license plate on it. I've never drove without a license plate in my life. That is like literally begging to get pulled over, especially when you don't have insurance either. It's kind of just like begging for a bunch of tickets or possibly get my car impounded.
And you're still gonna just keep driving with no insurance. and
No,
no plate. Well, if you drove here, we're gonna have a little discussion. So did somebody drop you off or did you drive here? You drove here.
I didn't want to miss court. I mean, I can't go to jail. I have nobody to watch my kid.
Yes, if you did 93 days, you'd be out by Christmas. You got a giant gift from the prosecutor reducing this from a felony to a misdemeanor.
I'll just take the plea.
Instead of treating it like a giant gift, you're treating it like an old shoe. And you're, like I said, nothing bad has happened. Your technique of ignoring everything has so far been successful, except for the part where you got evicted. Because nothing's happened. You haven't paid a dozen or more tickets. You continue to drive with no insurance and no valid plate. And I'm gonna give you a fine that you aren't gonna pay.
I'm gonna pay it, I swear.
So I think there's jail in your future, but I will agree to adjourn this matter for 30 days to allow you to file this motion if you wish to, or make some provisions for what happens to you on the day of sentence. Because they gave you months to either pay the rent or move, and you didn't pay the rent and you didn't move. And then they gave you an additional 25 days to move out before they did the eviction. And yeah, at some point there's a consequence, but let's reset this. December 2. I don't have a good answer, Ms. Marshbank. You can file the motion if you wish, Mr. Gibson. I don't think that her understanding of the law is currently what the status is, but even if it is, I don't think she was an Indiana resident at the time of this incident, which makes it all irrelevant. I guess I'm just kicking the can down the road because I don't know what to do. But at some point, well, the cows come home. So I'll see you on December 2nd at 10:30. Don't be late. And we'll address it at that time. All right, you're good to go. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, how goes it? How's everybody doing? That's been a full morning, lunchtime brunch of court cases, hasn't it? Are we done? Are we happy? Are we all satisfied? I think I'm done. I think I'm done. Unless, I mean, I'm not even going to say it. If you want to watch the case that we were talking about earlier with Judge Middleton and Debbie Davis, where Debbie Davis had the reappearance, go to Colin's channel. Colin actually did that. He did a real good analysis video of that case. So go check that out over on Colin's channel. For me, for now, for this moment in time, I'm not going to live stream anymore. Not until Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back here on this channel, Colin's channel. I'm sorry, Honora. Colin's channel is Colin, definitely not Cromwell. Hey, if you would, Dreams, grab a link to Colin's channel real quick and put it in the chat for me. I would appreciate that. And in the meantime, I'll be letting everybody know to come back here, Same Wolf Time, Same Wolf channel, on Monday nights for the Fleischer Forum. If Fleischer's not having a docket, which I'm pretty sure he is, we'll find something else to watch. There's Colin's link right there in the chat. Awesome. And I'm gonna try and put together a little something with Manning. I'm not sure what I have as far as Manning is concerned, so be on the lookout at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for a Manic Monday with Manning premiere. That should just redirect directly over into the Fleischer Forum after the fact. And that'll be happening, the Fleischer Forum is every night, all week long, for the week to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your Lone Wolf Usul. I'm your curator for these videos. It has been a pleasure. Chat's been amazing. I love all you guys. Have a great day. I'll see all you. Bye. Next time.